you, this is definitely much more unique and detailed than the average bar.
Joel Zettler's antiques are anything but average.
It's the architectural antiques and large carved furniture which I'm focusing on. Basically, highly carved, big, large, ornate pieces of furniture, kind of Gothic, kind of Victorian.
Over a 45-year career, Joel has become a go-to guy for brokers offering the promise of a rare find.
I have a bar here, a local bar I'd like to sell.
At Joel's Oley Valley Architectural Antique Shop in Berks County, Pennsylvania, customers wend their way through mountains of oak and mahogany bars, mantels, doors, cabinets, and more artifacts from the late 19th and early 20th centuries.
Most of the things I see I just decline because they're not good enough or rare enough or fancy enough.
But he couldn't decline this fine oak bar in what was once an Allentown hotel built in 1900.
We had to outbid everybody in the country to get that. I've never seen one ever that has 6 columns. Never. And it's 36 foot long, and the quality is just impeccable, and it's very massive. Condition's perfect.
Joel sells the back bars like this one for anywhere between $40,000 and $150,000. With a front bar, they can go for as high as $200,000. To learn more about the history and culture of these pieces, we invited Tom Keels, an author and historian, and his sidekick Larry Argyle, a former antiques dealer, to give us their impressions.
This is the famous Al Capone bar we've heard so much about. A few years ago, Al Capone's .28 Colt pistol sold for over $110,000. Now that had unquestionable provenance. It had a letter from Al Capone's sister-in-law stating, "This is Al's gun. I saw him fire it." She didn't say at whom he fired it. Although we don't have that kind of documentation here, there may be somebody who really wants to have Al Capone's bar in his house.
According to Larry, some of the finest antique bars were made by Brunswick, the company mostly known for making pool tables.
And in 1878, they branched off into barbacks and bars. And their craftsmen were fantastic. The late 19th century, it was a heyday for wood carvers and carpenters and cabinet makers.
This is very Austrian, Nouveau.
Oh yeah.
See that? Wonderful carving, wonderful design.
Yeah, it is beautiful carving.
Intricate carvings and scrollwork on these antiques often reflect the lives of the people who owned them.
We were looking at one mantle earlier that had an anchor over the top. Did it come out of the home of a nautical man, a former sailor, an admiral, or was the anchor simply the Christian symbol for hope?
The more elaborate your mantle was, especially in the late 19th century, the wealthier you were.
Larry notes that no Victorian dining room was complete without a sideboard or buffet to display or place serving dishes.
And imagine all the food spread out here. Really cool. I just love the detail on these pieces. There was no inch that was left undecorated.
In the Victorian period, when you had massive dining room suites, you would have a hunt board, which is basically a sideboard where dishes would be displayed and also serving dishes would be placed.
Oley's offers iron gates and fencing, which once primarily adorned the grand homes and properties of the Victorian era's well-to-do. Andre DeLuca, owner of Keystone Custom Ironworks, customizes these pieces for many of Joel's clients.
Joel's stuff is made here in good old US of A. Long time ago, the blacksmith, hundreds of years ago, where they sat over their hammer and their forge and they bent the metal and, they put it all together.
One architectural element that was present in many churches was beautiful ironwork, and these gates here look like they might have come from a church, perhaps the entry into a sanctuary or something like that. And ironwork was another important architectural element of the Gilded Age, and in this case, literally gilded. We're sort of coming into a new Gilded Age. People are building large houses, anywhere from 5,000 to 10,000 square feet. A 60-foot bar that would have been the showcase of a downtown hotel can now be the talking piece of your rec room or your man cave.
Joel also supplies bars and other antiques for movie and television productions. His pieces have appeared in 4 Woody Allen films, The Big Wedding with Robert De Niro and Lincoln with Daniel Day-Lewis.
I must have done 50 movies over the years supplying antiques.
Joel's relentless search for the next big find, the exquisite barback or fireplace mantel, mirrors the growing demand for these one-of-a-kind architectural antiques.
Oh, everybody wants something that's original. They don't want these reproduction pieces, and they'll fly up from all over the world.
Joel's customers breathe new life into these rich pieces, which were made in an era when craftsmanship was raised to an art. For Focus, I'm Grover Silcox reporting.